Morning, Jules. Where in Canada are you? I'm in Ontario, currently. Hi, love. How are you? It's Monday. Good day, good day. Oh, I forgot to share. I forgot I should share it. That'll get other people happening. Good. I'm glad. That's awesome. Did you have a good weekend? I don't really like, it's hard when you're trying to change language around things. And, like they talk about how weak and end, right? Like weak when you say that, like what it sounds like, or how, it's just, but how do you change that language instead of just, we can call it Saturday and Sunday. We could just say Saturday and Sunday. Did you enjoy your days? Hello, Ambi. How are you? We're going to do a collective reading, and then I haven't decided fully yet if I'm going to do big readings for people or if I'm going to do cards for everyone. Like there's a different, I've done cards for everybody for a long time. And the thing is that I have a company. I'm a healer. I'm a trauma specialist. I'm a nurse of over 20 years that retired and opened her own company. Optimistic. Well, what is it about Monday in particular? Is it the start of a new work week and you're not in alignment with your job, or what it is? What is it that gives that connotation to another week? And what can we do to change that? All right, TT. Hi, Edie. How are you, love? I did. Let's see, Saturday was a day of relaxation, which is interesting because Saturday, governed by Saturn, would be more the day of responsibilities. TT. I did take my story for Charlie, Choo Choo Charlie. Good morning, Simon. I'm happy you were able to catch me too. I saw the one person come on. I'm like, I wonder if it's Simon. Hello, love. So today I might actually read that book to you guys if you're open to that. And you can hear my next story that I will be releasing on November 11th. And this one is dedicated to my youngest grandson, whereas the other series is for my older grandson. Well, you guys get some likes happening. I see Denise came in the room. Hello, Denise. How are you, my love? It's cute. I'll read it for you guys. We'll do a Monday morning story time. So all I have to do now is the complete formatting of the story. I wrote it first, and then I went through and rewrote it a little bit. Hi guys, how are you? Hi Mango. I love Mango. I'm looking for a treat. It has been a long time. How are you doing? I'm just going to read my next story that I've written for for children. I write children's books and I do other things, multitude of things. I'm a jack of all trades, basically, but not a jack. I'm a Jill of all trades. Let's say that. Interesting. That's my son. So I wrote this story. I've written other children's book. I have Jessie Learns to Create Calm Spaces, which takes children through the calm spaces technique so that they can learn to regulate their emotions. It teaches them grounding. It teaches them grounding, mindfulness, a little bit of breath work, and then how to fire up their imagination. So it takes them through this beautiful technique, but it's written for children. And I also wrote my stories, the series that I started for my oldest grandson, which is The Adventures of Jack and Nanny B. And the first one's Monsters Edition, where they go around and they hunt monsters, but monsters are actually kids who were made to feel unloved and unwanted. So they go hunting monsters and turn them back into children. These ones are If you go to Amazon and search Tanya Baldwin, you'll see the list of books. I haven't updated my links on my webpage, but that's actually a good idea, is for me to go and create new links for that book there. But yeah, so they are available all on Amazon. And if you search Tanya Baldwin, you'll find all of them. Although there are some that are linked to me that aren't me. There's some older ones. All right, so we're going to listen to story time. Okay, you ready for story time this morning? Good morning, Lindy. Good morning. Okay, so this one's written for my younger grandson. So he's 3. And the series is called Choo Choo Charlie and His Adventures with Nanny B. Okay. Hi, my name is Charlie, but my friends and family call me Choo Choo Charlie. I love going on adventures with my Nanny B. We take the train to Storyland, where adventure awaits. All aboard, let's go. Choo Choo Charlie and Nanny B ride the train to Storyland. Choo Choo Charlie hops off the train and looks around and sees an ostrich. An ostrich is a really big bird. They can't fly, but they can run really fast. Choo Choo Charlie gets closer to the bird to get a better look. The ostrich looks at Charlie, blinks, and then he spits on Charlie. Ooh, Charlie says, that's yucky. Nanny B points at the ostrich and says, hey, no spitting, no biting, no hitting, beautiful, and no kicking. The ostrich blinks at Nanny B and then runs away. Nanny B cleans off Charlie's face. That wasn't nice, Charlie says. No, it wasn't. Let's see if we can find something better, says Nanny B. Choo Choo Charlie leads the way. Up ahead, he sees a pond, and sitting beside it, a baby alligator. It is so small and cute. Before Nanny B can say, don't touch him, he will bite, Choo Choo Charlie reaches out, and the baby alligator snaps his teeth at Charlie's fingers. Hey, Charlie says, that's not nice. Nanny B rushes over and points at the baby alligator. Hey, no spitting, no biting, no hitting, and no kicking. The alligator blinks at Nanny B and then swims away. That was close, Choo Choo Charlie exclaims. Yes, it was. You have to be careful, Choo Choo Charlie, replies Nanny B. Next, Choo Choo Charlie sees a monkey. The monkey jumps from branch to branch, swinging from limb to limb. Charlie reaches in his backpack and pulls out his banana. Monkeys love bananas. Charlie holds the banana out, offering it to the monkey. The monkey comes over to Charlie and slaps the banana out of Charlie's hand. Hey, that hurt, Charlie cries. Nanny B runs over and points her finger at the monkey. Hey, no spitting, no biting, no hitting, and no kicking. The monkey blinks at Nanny B, then says, ee, ooh, ooh, and then climbs back in the trees. Charlie wasn't sure he wanted to see anything else after that, but Charlie was brave, so he kept on going. Next, Choo Choo Charlie sees some kangaroos. At first, Charlie thinks they are dancing or playing. The 2 kangaroos were hopping and swinging their arms. This time, Charlie keeps his distance. That was smart of Charlie. The next thing he sees is the one kangaroo kick the other one. They are not dancing or playing. They're fighting. Hey, that's rude, Choo Choo Charlie says, pointing his finger at the kangaroos. No spitting, no biting, no hitting, and no kicking. The kangaroos stop, blink their eyes at Charlie, and hop away. Do you know what I like? Asks Choo Choo Charlie. What do you like? Nanny B asks. I like hugs and kisses. They're my favorite too, Choo Choo Charlie, replies Nanny B. Then she gives Choo Choo Charlie a big hug and a kiss. I think I have had enough adventure for one day, Choo Choo Charlie says. They climb back on the train and head back home, leaving Storyland. Choo Choo Charlie waves goodbye and says, see you on the next adventure. Choo Choo Charlie. That's the story, guys. That is the first story in the Choo Choo Charlie series. And the other book, obviously, I've read this once before on air, is The Adventures of Jack and Nanny B Monster Edition. So those are the books. But let's get into checking out some cards today. Today is a beautiful Monday. We're going to have some good chats today. Isn't it cute? I think it's a perfect story. Well, I'm impartial. I'm kind of impartial, though. I wrote it, and it's for my friends. I mean, it's for my grandson. So there's so much love in the story, and we were doing this all the time, right? That's what I was saying to Charlie the last time that I was down there, because he's 3, right? He's in that age where they start to bite and, they're starting to kick and they're starting to do stuff like that. We can talk about astrology as we're doing some stuff. One of the things that you could look at is because there's different formats of astrology. There's, the type that many of us are familiar with, but there's true sidereal. And true sidereal, it is a different type of astrology, right? So it's looking at it and the placement of the moon and stuff. But what we're going to do is we're going to check in on what the collective needs to know first. So in the event that I do big readings for everybody, right? If I'm doing a larger reading and picking a select group, then, if you don't get picked, pay attention to the collective message, because maybe there's something in there that's important for you. So we've got the last quarter moon in Cancer, which is asking us to take a breather. We can't be always go, go, go. And there is a different way to live, right? We've left with the concept of, so it's just looking at different placements of the planets at the time and date of your birth. Many of the calculators will look at the UTC, so the universal time, which for me in the Eastern time zone is plus 5 hours ahead. So that would be something to be aware of, is converting your time of birth to UTC before using them. Cancer, Cancer is governed by the moon, and Cancer is a water sign. So Cancer's the mom of the zodiac, even though, when we're looking at the ages, Cancer is all about the home, about the inside of the home. So it's about your family, and it's a very nurturing, compassionate energy. Cancer is governed by the moon. They're very intuitive. The water signs are all very intuitive, being that they are governed by the water. Okay. So let's see. I was looking at today, well, we were getting air and water. So we've got new moon in Gemini. The new moon in Gemini is asking us to think it through. So taking a breather in this concept is asking us to step back and review the information, review what we know, review what we've heard, and really think about it. Which direction do you want to go? Now, Gemini is an air sign, and it's a mutable air sign, which is really go with the flow. Gemini is this and that are both true at the same time. So they seem like they are two-faced, but they're actually not. It's almost like, right now in this moment, this I like, but if it wasn't in this moment, I wouldn't really like it. And that's okay. I can hold space for that. Okay. But they're also about learning and networking. So even in this think it through, although we're taking a break, and that break could be to get introspective, to also allow yourself the opportunity to rest and rejuvenate yourself. The other part is that you have the ability to, I just lost my train of thought. I looked out the window and I was like, oh yeah, the sun's just like beaming right in there, kind of blinding us over here, kind of blinding us here. But yes, Gemini is very, very mutable. But even though we're asked to take a break so that we can recover and we can rejuvenate, and we're being asked to think it through. So there's definitely an introspective air between these two cards. The other thing is that there's a communication or a networking component that Gemini brings in. So if you have trusted advisors that you can speak to, now might be the time to connect with them in order to help you get clarity. Right? We've also got full moon in Libra coming out. Full moon in Libra is asking us to find a balance. So maybe that's what we're asked to do. If you're getting up in the morning on Monday and you're like, it's Monday, I got to go back to work. Or if, anytime, right? I just like the light is just, it's just so bright on the screen. It's just crazy. Which is, yeah, anyway, we'll just deal with the light. We're just super bright. We're just super bright today. So Libra is about finding balance. So Libra is the 7th sign in the astrological wheel, and it's about partnership and relationships and beauty and balance and harmony and justice and all of those things. So the balance that we could be finding is between our desires and our needs. That's a spot to find balance, right? With needs, maybe we need to have a roof over our head, but we desire to spend our money on other things. Well, we may need to save the money for the roof over our head and delay the desires, right? There's a concept of that balance there. This could be a balance, but when we're looking at desires, like what is your soul asking for? What is your soul calling for? Good morning. Good morning, Sam. What is your soul asking for? Or how can you balance rest, work, and play? How can you, there's that trifecta. So how can you balance those areas in your life? How can you balance your masculine and feminine energies? How can you balance, the things that you're doing out of your home versus the things that you're doing in your home, like for your family, right? So there's all these different ways that we can balance. So maybe what we're asked to do now is to consider, where are we giving out way more than we're getting in return, right? So are there some energy leaks, right? Do you have energy vampires in your life where, maybe you're giving that energy away to them and there's nothing that's coming back, like there's no reciprocating energy that's coming back. But connecting with people who maybe can give us some insight in this space is a good thing. When you're looking at getting into, like in relationships, if somebody ever asks you within a relationship, and this is something like we should have been taught as children, if anyone asks you to keep a secret, it's not, it's probably not a healthy relationship. And obviously, as an adult, you can discern that, hey, they're asking me to keep a secret of a surprise party, as, being that would be completely acceptable. But keeping a secret of, the actions or behaviors that you see, we don't talk about those, right? Like you don't talk about don't talk about our relationship with your friends. Right? There's sometimes, and it is healthier to work on your problems within your relationship. But if your partner asks you never to speak about the relationship issues, it could be because there's some negativity or there's some actual bad behaviors that they're doing, and they don't want you talking to your friends, because if you talk to your friends, you're going to find out what they're doing. Right? So sometimes people can isolate you. So that's why I'm saying, like, even though there's that pull back and be introspective and check in with yourself, there are times when it's good to run it by somebody. Because if anything's making you feel confused, maybe the reason why you're confused isn't because you're confused. Maybe it's because what they're doing is confusing you. Right? And they're doing it on purpose. So there is a point where talking with somebody or getting counsel is good. Just make sure you're aware who you're getting counsel from. As I've said before, like, it doesn't matter where you are in the awakening process. It doesn't matter what you think is right, what you think is wrong, what you think is true, what you think isn't. No matter where you are in your journey, right? We're all just doing our best, right? And wherever you are within your journey, there's a message that's trying to come down, but they're not being clear enough with it. Just give me a second. Today I was watching I saw someone posting on Facebook, and they had that post, and I've seen it before. There was a long time ago when I might have even adopted that post myself, where it talks about, a difference in opinion is fine for coffee, but it's not okay for things in terms of like racism and gender and da 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 da. And if you have those viewpoints, then, take yourself out, basically, like in the sense of, like, it was someone's Facebook. So if you don't have, like healthy views, but what is healthy in that way, right? And so, not that, and me, I think that we are spiritual beings having an experience in this world, and that as these spiritual beings, we've incarnated in different genders, different sexes, different cultures, different races, different colors. Like, we've been everything, because why wouldn't you, right? And I used to play video games, even, and I still do, right? And like when you play a video game like Diablo, so for anybody that hasn't played those things, there's MMORPGs. There's all different kinds of video game styles that are out there. But in ones where you create your characters, and your characters are built from different sets, right? So like Diablo would have like a witch doctor, and that witch doctor would have different perks, but also different things. So when you play Diablo, you play those other characters too. Like, you'll pick your favorite character, maybe start the game with that, but then you go play the game again, and you'll experience as a rogue, or you'll experience it as, a priestess, or you'll experience it as these other character types. The same thing happens when we choose to incarnate in this life. We choose at this point white, blonde hair, blue eyes, blah, 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 blah. The last life you could have picked black. You could have picked brown eyes. You could have picked, you could have picked anything, right? Because it's that character creation screen, right? So you're incarnating in this. So we believe in that concept of we are spirits having these experiences. But when we close off conversation, like when we shut down the opportunity to have conversation, like if I come on here and I'm like, anybody who doesn't have the same viewpoints as me, and it doesn't matter what it's in, but if you don't have the same viewpoints as me, go away. Right? Well, then how do I hope to change or to challenge or to potentially have myself challenged or changed if I'm not engaging in conversations that are outside of my viewpoint? And I get what they're saying, right? Like, I don't agree with, the concept that anybody is any less than anyone else. I don't think that there's a world that's humane where there's people who have billions and billions and even trillions of dollars when we look at some of these corporations like BlackRock and Vanguard. But when we're looking at these things, that there's no humanity where they should have that type of billions of dollars while other people are going hungry and don't have homes and don't have basic needs. To me, that's a tragedy in society, that we live in a society where there's such a disparity. But that's a disparity that we need to come to the table and talk about. Like, how is there a way that we can have a healthier society where you're still interested in working and moving forward and learning more, right? But at the same time, you're giving back from that. To me, I don't want to have billions of dollars for me. Like, I've always thought about, if I'm making lots and lots of money, well, first off, we can do homeless, we can help the homeless, we can help the animals, we can help children, we can do all these philanthropic activities. Like, I just think that it's absolutely an atrocity that there are people who have so much at their disposal. Like they have so much abundance, not just in like, I have 5 cars and I have 10 homes and I have 10 cars and 5 homes and I go on trips everywhere and I have all the latest fashions and styles and I have all the best foods and my children have everything that they ever needed and wanted. And I still have, $5 billion in the bank that's just sitting there. But I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Right? That's the point where I'm like, but why? But why? At what point is it more than enough for you? Right? So when we're looking at the collective, so this is about that whole finding balance, right? We're finding balance, but we have to make sure that in finding balance and in finding that place of justice and stuff, that we're not closing the door on the conversation with other people who have different viewpoints. Gemini asks us to have very big open mind, just like Sagittarius. All right, our mutable signs, and Sagittarius is the opposing energy of Gemini. Sagittarius is the teacher and the philosopher. So Sagittarius really wants to have these big open minds. We've got trust the universe coming out as well. And it's really important for us to trust the universe, but we have to trust ourselves because that is the key to the universe, right? Everything you go within, right? In order for you to see the universe, right? To me, there's just better ways of philanthropy. Oh, I love that. Breathing through my heart. Yes. Right. It's the seed of everything. When we have, so we've got Aquarius here. So we have another air sign. So we've got Gemini, we've got Libra. So we've got all 3 air signs are in the equation now. We've got Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So Libra is the fixed energy, is the cardinal energy, and Aquarius is the fixed energy. So Aquarius is a very more stubborn energy, or more grounded energy would be the other way of putting it, because it's fixed energy. But you have to trust yourself in order to trust the universe. Right? Like inherently going within is where you find that relationship to spirit, to God, to your higher self, to the higher power. That's where it is within. You don't find it in a book, because that book was written by man and God is outside of man. So even though the book can be put together, any book can be, no matter whether it's, the Kabbalah, the Bible, it doesn't matter which text it is. As soon as it's a text in this earth, it has the energy of man in the book, right? And we know with the Bible that the Bible is not the full version. There have been chapters that have been taken out of it. The book is now King James's version. Before that, it was another individual's version, and so on and so on. So I have a hard time following a book that isn't complete. Just my viewpoint. At the end of the day, though, it's still created by man, and spirituality is in that relationship between you and the higher power has nothing to do with a book, right? It's all found within you, within that piece. So in order for you to trust in the universe, you have to trust in yourself. And that's the first step, is learning to trust in yourself. We learn not to trust ourselves through learning not to trust other people, which again, humans, we're not trusting humans, and we internalize not trusting them, that we can't trust ourselves. So, in this sense of, I had a relationship with a narcissist, so now I shouldn't trust myself in making decisions about a partner because I made such a poor choice, right? So then we say, well, I can't, instead of looking at it and saying, I had a relationship with that person because there was something I needed to learn from it. There was something they needed to learn from it. There was growth or evolution that we could find within that relationship together. Now, never stay in relationships that are abusive if you have the opportunity to get out. If you're struggling with getting out of a relationship that's abusive, please connect with me. I do have a half-hour free call that you can always get on my page. Good morning, Mira. How are you? So do look at that. What else do we have coming in for the collective? Spirit, can we get some other stuff? We've got to learn to trust the universe. So can you ask God to demonstrate? I'm serious. Ask God right now. You can say it out loud or say it in your mind. It doesn't matter. But ask God right now, whatever name you use for God or your higher power. You could say source. You could say universe. You could say Allah, Buddha. Doesn't matter. Ask whatever you call your higher power. So God, source, demonstrate my abundance for me today, or God, demonstrate that I'm on the right path, right? And you can say, demonstrate that I'm on the right path by allowing me in the next 24 hours to hear right path, right track, right road. It's going to say something like that specific. Okay. And ask that to be demonstrated for you. And then when you see that, you're able to say, I asked for that. God demonstrated it for me. And it was right away within 24 hours that I was able to receive that. So then you know that you can talk to God and have things brought to you or given or delivered, right? But deliver it, right? Hello, Kathy. How are you? Okay. What else do we have for the collective today, Spirit? Or should we check in a different card? You know what? Maybe we'll check in with our astro. Ooh, we got Pisces coming in here, and this is a beautiful one. We're definitely going to give this forgiveness. Now, I talk about forgiveness in a different way. Forgiveness is, for many people, a challenging concept because the underpinning of forgiveness is this concept that we're somehow letting the person away with what they did, or we're excusing what they did, or we're somehow saying it's okay, and that's never the point of forgiveness. And unfortunately, that's just it's just the way the word has been interpreted or has been delivered to us through time. Forgiveness is acceptance of what happened. You accept that it happened. It's not about any justice. It isn't about any of that. You accept what happened and come to terms with that. It's not about assigning good or bad, right or wrong, or any of that. It's just I'm accepting what happened, that it happened, and I'm not going to allow it to continue to control me or to hurt me, or for the energy to be there. So it's that integration, the coming to terms with it in the mental space and letting go of the energy that's around it. That's the whole path of forgiveness. And it has nothing to do with the other person and nothing to do with right or wrong, good or bad. It has nothing to do with that. But when you come to terms with what happened and integrate that experience and also allow the energy to go, then it doesn't bother you anymore. Then it's just something that was. It's not something that is. It's something that was. So there is that path of forgiveness. And oftentimes the hardest part is forgiving ourselves, right? Because we're so hard on ourselves, right? It's, when I used to tell people all the time about, with their language and the way that they talk to themselves and being emotionally abusive, right? When you're emotionally abusive with yourself, you would never say that to your dearest friend. You would never speak to your daughter that way. Like I used to tell women, if you're calling yourself fat, or you're on yourself about the way that you look, or you're on yourself about your weight, picture your little girl, like your daughter, if you have one. And if you don't have your daughter, picture your little inner girl, right? Apologize for the picture. The glass got stuck on it. But picture your little inner girl and actually picture saying to her, you're so fat, you're so stupid, you're so ugly. Like imagine saying that to her, right? Or saying it to your own daughter, right? And saying that, like how could you say that to that, like that little girl, right? And hopefully you can't. I mean, if you do, then you need to work on the fact that you could say that to somebody else, as well as, yeah, that's me. This is a picture of me. The picture, the glass is broken, obviously, in the picture frame, but the glass had stuck to my face, so it peeled the the picture off. You can't even really see it on there because of the light. Yeah. Yeah, that's me. I haven't really changed much, hey? Well, I just threw the other. Here, we could show this one too. Right? Get the bangs back. I had my hair all one length when I was about 9. And then I had an accident. So when I was 9, I fell off my bike and I hit my head on a curb, and I ended up getting a blood clot. And so I used to have my hair, and I used to. I'll do this way, but it's so weird. Like after so much time, I have to. The scar is really, like, considering I did it when I was 9, it's gotten way better. So I have this flat spot on my head. And I have this scar that's about that long on the scalp. But I used to, I part my hair this side. I had to part it on the opposite side, and this side got shaved off. Like it got shaved off on this side, sorry. So I had to part it over here so that I could cover the shaved off part with my hair. And it was so hard for me to wear it on the opposite side for so long. And that's when I started, and that's when I went back to having bangs. The eyes, it's the eyes, right? It is. So yeah, so I almost died when I was 9. I almost died a few times in my life, but 9, I almost died. When I hit my head on the curb, I was at a birthday party. I'll tell you the whole trashy story. Okay, the whole trashy story. So, we used to live on a strawberry farm we used to live on a house that was on a strawberry farm out in Langley, BC. And in that space, like, so we lived beside the strawberry farm, and we would collect flats of strawberries, and then we would take them to the flea market and we would sell the flats of strawberries. This one time I was there and I saw this bike. It was a regular 2-speed bike. And I wanted it. I wanted it really bad. And I begged and I pleaded. And at the end of it, my mom and stepdad were like, okay, if you can sell the last flat of strawberries, which was $25, and the bike was $20, then I'll buy you the bike. So I did. I sold the last flat of strawberries, and it was probably the first thing I ever sold too at 9. Just saying. And I sold the flat of strawberries. My stepdad took the bike home, and he gave it to my cousins, and he took this 10-speed and he put like an extension on the front of it. So it was like one of those like choppers, when you saw the Harleys, and they had those like long extensions, like the long front end on it. So he did that with this 10-speed that had no brakes on it. So I was so upset because I did what you guys said. I sold the last flat of strawberries, so I should have got that bike, and I was quite upset. But I get this 10-speed instead. And like I said, 10-speed with a 2-wheel tire on it and extended front end. So we go to this birthday party at a neighborhood's kid's house, and it was a party that you bring the bike to because we were going to be doing a bunch of like bike activities and stuff. Like one of the things was, one of the games at the party was to see how long you could stay balanced on your bike without pedaling, like how long you could keep your bike balanced, and stuff like that. And then we decided to go for a ride. So as we went for this ride, the kids in front of me, they went down this hill, and at the bottom of the hill, like it was on a cul-de-sac, they went down the hill, and at the bottom of the at the cul-de-sac, they turned and went down this little trail that cut off the road into the woods. So I'd never been there before. So I was looking like, where are they going, and paying attention to where they were going, that I didn't see that there was a piece of curb that had been out from the road. And I hit that with my tire. Cause like I said, I was just so, where are they going? Right. I was 9. I was a little bit hesitant to be in this neighborhood, like by myself. And I was worried about getting lost. So anyway, I was just focused on them. I hit the piece of rock. It threw me over and I hit my head on the curb and knocked me out cold. So the memories that I have from that moment on are, I remember at the top of the hill, my brother had me on his bike and was pushing me. And then I passed out again. I don't know how my brother pushed me on, like had me on a bike, passed out and pushed me, but I'm sure the other kids helped too, but pushed me back to the house where we had the birthday party. I woke up again being transferred into the parents' car. I woke up when being transferred out our house. I woke up in the hospital. They kept me overnight and let me go home the next day saying that I just had a minor concussion. I couldn't keep any food down. I just wanted to sleep. I felt sick and nauseous and just like, but they sent me home anyway. So literally they should have been charged with neglect because they sent me home with a blood clot. They didn't send me home with a concussion. So I continued to sleep. I couldn't eat. If I ate, I puked. And I wasn't hungry anyway. I had no interest in anything. All I wanted to do was sleep. And I felt sick and nauseous and dizzy anytime that I was up. It was just not good at all. So my mom ended up taking me to an ear, nose, like an ENT, an ear, eye, nose, and throat specialist. And he was like, wake her up every hour on the hour. If you don't, you might not wake her up. And if she's still this way come morning, then you have to take her to the Royal Columbian Memorial Hospital in British Columbia in Vancouver. So that morning, so my mom she woke me up every hour on the hour that whole entire night. First thing in the morning was the first time that I ate anything in the time that I'd been sick. And I had chicken noodle soup and ginger ale and then toast and jam. So those are like my ultimate comfort foods is chicken noodle soup, toast and jam, and ginger ale. Like there's something like that's forever ingrained, like it's pretty ingrained in me that those are comfort food. So they took me to the hospital in Burnaby, and I remember I had to ride on the floorboards. Like this is how like ghetto or like how ghetto it is. But anyway, we didn't even have we went in a truck and my brother sat between my parents and I sat on the floor. We didn't even have there wasn't I wasn't even in a seat in a car, it wasn't even in a seat. So anyway, go to the hospital and they send me for a CAT scan and all these tests and stuff. And after they do the scan, the head of the emergency department comes back, and he's like a neurologist or whatever. He comes back and he goes, yep, she's got a blood clot she's got a blood clot in her brain, and we have to do emergency surgery. We're going to have the surgery tomorrow. So then he called the neurologist, the head of neurology, for a consult, and the head of neurology reran the tests, and then he said, we'll operate today. So I immediately prepped for surgery and go in and have surgery. They said that if they had have waited till the next day, that I would have been dead, that I literally had hours to live from the amount of pressure of the blood clot on my brain, like in the brain. So I had literally hours to live. So they did the emergency surgery then. I woke up in the middle of surgery. Right. I woke up in the middle of surgery because they didn't give me enough anesthetic, and they just gave a little bit more and put me out more. And yeah, and then I was terrified. I was terrified in the hospital because this was a massive trauma center. So it was really like it was terrifying. Like I saw burn victims in the ER and in surgery and stuff like that. I saw people in body casts. Like I was scared. And so, my mom wasn't like, my parents didn't stay there. They left me there and would go home every night. So they would just leave me with like basically a roll of quarters to call them if I needed to. So the nurses really took a keen liking to me, and doing the big key, like I would get extra treats and stuff like that. And, once I got, comfortable with the nurses and felt okay, then I was fine. So I stayed there. I stayed in a hospital for about a week and then was able to come home, and I'm fine. I'm fine. Like it's all fine. Some people may say, oh, she got a little brain damage from that, but they're just trying to be funny. But what I did get was refractory damage. So because like when I hit, the brain bounces back. So I actually have scar tissue on the opposite side of the brain as well. But it didn't affect me. I'm completely normal, I swear. But it did, like, I think it, yeah, it's interesting. I'm trying to see Simon's comments. The glare on my computer is so bright right now. I don't even know what's going on. Sorry, trying to read them. Oh my God, you know what? It's whatever right now. It was, back then it was pretty scary. But yeah, then I remember like at the end of the time in the hospital, like I would be they had a big wheel and I'd be driving the big wheel around, and I like stop at the nurse's station and I'd be like, beep, beep, got any bananas? And I get a banana and boom, like drive away. Like I very quickly became the nurse's like favorite patient because, well, I was a cute kid, man. You saw my pictures. I was a pretty cute kid. So nonetheless, all is well now. But that was so that's just an experience that happened, right? And, depending on how the experience gets managed, the experience either creates trauma or it doesn't. And that experience, luckily enough, even though it sounds traumatic to everybody outside of it, I didn't really feel traumatized by it because, oopsies. Almost put them. I put these cards. I shuffled these cards half and half. Like, so half of them are one way and half of them are the other way. Dang it. Dang it, Tanya, mix them all up. Yeah, I was a very like I was the teacher's like favorite student. Like I was a pretty lovely child. I don't know, like I was a good kid, right? Like I was just one of those good kids. I was very nice and, trying to see what I wonder. I'm gonna I had 1, 2, and they... Yeah, I wondered about that, Simon, about whether or not having that concussion was something that, oh, interesting. So yeah, I wondered if that experience, like if, because I had gifts very early on and I keep getting told that these gifts are going to open, like this big gift is going to be opening up for me. And I'm like, okay, I don't remember a lot of my childhood because it was very traumatic. And I asked my mom occasionally, like, well, what was I like? What did I do? How weird was I? And I mean, I know I connected with the forest spirits. I know that. How am I keep getting these? I'm trying to really keep these cards backwards. And I wondered if like some of those experiences, like what is the experience that got you to shut it down, right? And could it have been like going through that experience? But I didn't feel that they, like, yes, it was, when you look back on it, you can see as an adult that that might be traumatic. And even, there were moments where it was scary for sure. But at the end of the day, I don't think that I felt traumatized by it, or that I left with trauma from it, because, I was sleeping through most of it. And when I was awake, sure, there were some times when my parents would be like trying to force me to stay awake, and I understand why, but they couldn't. So, but my mom was very much there for me through that experience. So I think I felt supported, or I felt like I had that safety or security around me. So it was okay. But that's where we get trauma, right? Like as a nurse, if I don't manage the situation properly, then, that's something that I can create trauma in another person, right? So depending on how it gets managed in the emergency department is a big thing, right? Or how it gets managed at the roadside or wherever. Like I've talked about this with my group before. If I run up and I'm like, oh my God, wow, you're really messed up, bud. Like I'm going to create trauma in that person, rather than if I go up and I'm like, hey, I know that like you've been hurt, and, like there's, but you're okay, you're here, right? So I think that the people around me at that time did a good job managing the situation. Like I said, I remember being afraid of the guys in the hospital. And I remember being afraid like the first night or two in the hospital. But the nurses, like I said, they really were sweet to me. And my mom left me the roll of quarters, and, like my mom was there for me a lot in the beginning of it. So yeah, it was different. Hello, Craig. Hello. Oh, you know what? That might help me see too. I forgot I took my glasses off. Look at that, Simon. I can see better. It's still a lot of glare. Oh, yes, absolutely. Right. Like I think that a lot of our stuff is what, like we get closed down. Right. Um, it was really cool though. I had, good morning, beautiful, and good morning, Rainbow. We can do other cards as well. Do you want to do some good cards? Hi, Jet. Hi, Vicky Lynn. I love you. Love you too, sweetheart. And hi, Granny Debbie. Hi, Janet. So we can do some cards now. You guys vote. Do you want everybody's getting a quick little message, or do you want to do bigger readings? Now, note, you can always go to my website and book a reading. A reading is a half an hour long or an hour long. The hour long reading is a spiritual reading. Like I go full gifts on that one. So if my guides have a channel for you, or they have a past life, or they have an activation, you get that one. Everyone gets love, always, always, right? Ah, right. Thanks for not wearing the glasses so I could see the eyes, right? Hello, Rainbow. Um, I don't know if that really had a foundation on me being a nurse. I know from my experience of my past lives that I've been a variety of things in my past lives. I've been a healer in many of my past lives, but I've been, a priestess, like I've been a high priestess, I've been a witch, I think that I've just always been in some ways a healer. So that's just the natural, evolution in the traditional society that we were in. Being a nurse made logical sense. But remember, I didn't start out that way. I went into computers first. So I became a computer programmer / analyst. And then when I stopped doing that because it was not in alignment with me, I went to a choice between nursing and teaching. And look where I decided nursing because I could be a teacher while I was nursing. Right? You're teaching your patients all the time. So I'm like, that kind of marries both of them. But then at the end of the day, here I am being a teacher, but teaching you about spirituality, about healing, about awakening, about true health, and how we can do that. What's going on there? That slowed down for a minute. For some reason, my TikTok one is just slowing down. So I'm not sure how much you can really hear the music anyway. So I'm going to turn the music off in case that's an issue. It's showing still a green bar, but I'm okay on here. I'm just waiting to see what's going on here. It's showing me as green, but for some reason it's, oh no, now it's red. Okay. But you're okay there, Simon? We're not getting any lag. I mean, it's not showing it for me, but yeah, TikTok's doing, if anyone can hear me on TikTok, TikTok is just going through a bit of a bubble. If it keeps it up, I'll reestablish the connection. Okay. And it's so funny because it's like the picture of me, like in like one moment, then another moment, then another moment. So it's like really glitchy. So you're catching your picture in freeze frame. So the different frames that it's catching me on is quite funny. Yeah, no, I'm freezing on your end as well. All right. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with TikTok. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong spot. Sorry. Just give me a second, guys. Like if YouTube's working, then TikTok should be working, but it's not. Weird that TikTok, they did that last week too, where it just all of a sudden it was like, it just stopped and it went red, and that's when I closed. Remember the last week when you couldn't watch me? That was the week that was the day that I shut down YouTube because I thought, well, maybe it's interfering, and nobody was watching at that point. So I was like, I'll just shut down YouTube and we'll go from there. It's not even letting me shut this down right now. It's like, just it's like, please just let me leave so I can come back. You know what? Oh my goodness. We're going to bring the iPad down. Just give me a second. We'll just close it behind the scene if it lets me. Come on. They need to have a close all page on your app, on your iPhone or iPad. I don't know why I'm wondering if the iPad didn't overheat. Because it does feel kind of warm. Maybe that's what the problem was. And you know what? While I'm at it, while I'm waiting for TikTok to load up, because it's not, I'm going to make sure, I'm going to shut the curtains and see. At least shut that. Yeah, TikTok's frozen, so I'm trying to restart it. And I thought maybe this was overheated. But yeah, even when I tried to restart TikTok, it didn't start back up. But we'll see. Because yeah, it's just like, what's going on? But hi, Denise, you can hang out here. 11:10. $11. Yeah, I don't know why TikTok won't even open up, Denise. So weird. So weird. Like, it's still like we're too fast. Exactly. They're trying to stop us. They can't stop us. Haven't they heard our theme song? That one with the Irish kids, right? Think you can stop? Can't remember how it actually goes. Like, what is going on? You know what? I'm going to try it on my phone, and we'll see if TikTok will open up on my phone. Right? You can't stop me. I got this. Close the music off on this one, though.
I saw your chair. You what? There are people.
I don't know. What is going on? This is weird. I'm telling me I'm live on the other device. We're gonna end it on that one, and we're just gonna go live on this one. There we go. We are back. I don't know what happened. We are back. Alrighty. I've got a bunch of different cards here, though. I think that we're going to I'm going to share out here so we can get everybody else back. I don't know why my iPad did that. I think it overheated. Like, if I'm going to have to say, and it was my mistake too, though, because typically I try to shut the curtain. I try to shut the curtain when it's a really sunny day. But I didn't today because it was cloudy, and then the sun came out, and I think I'm just going to go with that. It overheated. That's all. I don't know why in the fall the sun's so hot right now. Hello, Mariana. So we're just it's working on my phone, so we'll do it that way. And if we're in the cards part of the section anyway, where we're going to just have some fun and chat while we give cards, and we'll see what doesn't come down for other information. Yeah, it was weird. Like, it wouldn't let me shut it on the iPad, and even when I tried opening, like, I completely closed the program behind the screen, right? Like, how you close the app in the background. I did that, and it wouldn't open up. But when I went to start it on my phone, it was like, you're still live on your device. So I'm like, okay. Oh, no, I know Indian summer, but I just mean, like, I've sat here with the sun behind me in the whole summertime and never had any problem. But this fall, there's twice now that I think that just from the sun coming in from the background is affecting us. There's a lot of energy right now, Mariana, with the eclipse and the full moon, that a lot of us are feeling a bit like depressed, right? Feeling a bit depressed, a bit depleted energetically. So are you getting good rest? And besides getting good rest, are you filling your cup with things that make you happy? Like, are you doing what are you doing that's in alignment with you, that fills your heart? Dan, did you stick around when you dropped in? Because Dan 7412, is that December of 74, by the way? I feel like he might have left. Hello, Helena. Yeah, I mean, on my lives, I can't sit outside when I'm doing this. I can't sit outside. I'm in an apartment at my mom's anyway. So I don't exactly have a yard. I'm doing fantastic. I've decided that I'm going to start manifesting a little bit different, right? If you're wondering why things aren't making direction, or your direction isn't going the way, right? So in the sense of, let's say you're manifesting, and I've been manifesting a while now, saying, you know, like, at least to Alberta or better, Alberta or better, Alberta or better. And I'm like, well, maybe there was full on frost the other morning here. Like, it was white on the ground. It was frosty. But I'm thinking about going, I'm thinking about just looking at the places that I really want to be, and looking at all of them. Run. Denise, where do you want to go that's warm? You just keep that. That's just not cool. Somebody's talking about snow in Alberta. That's not cool, Simon. Where are you, Simon? BC. We'll go to Victoria Island. We'll go down to the island. Okay. It's just expensive in British Columbia. I'd easily live in British Columbia. It's just that, well, I guess I shouldn't think of it as expensive if you always have a surplus, right? We have to train our brain. All right, let's get some cards going. Vancouver's flooded right now, right? There's got to be something better. Come on. Let's go to Bali. Right? Bali's still cheap. He owns 5 trailer parks. Oh, geez, I tried to do it again. This deck of cards, for some reason, I just want them all mixed up backwards and forwards in every direction, because I keep trying to shuffle them together in opposite. Nice. I lived out in British Columbia for 10 years of my life at various times. Nice. From Montreal area. Montreal's beautiful. Bowser between Nanaimo and Campbell River. Nice. Yeah, I've lived in 3 provinces. Who had their first plowable snow? Where did I miss that? They snowed in New Hampshire. Oh my gosh. It's too soon, guys. I'm just too soon. All righty. I'm going to pull some cards for Simon. First quarter moon in Libra. Keep your heart open. So if you're not in a relationship, Simon, it could be an indication to open your heart to see new love coming in. It might be that time. We've got attend to the details and also know your worth coming out. Hi, John. Happy 35th birthday. Or 31st level 35 or level 35. Oh, and we also have detoxify coming out. Just pulling all the cards that flipped over backwards in the deck. All right, so we got first quarter moon in Libra to keep your heart open. We have last quarter moon in Virgo asking you to attend to the details. We have new moon in Taurus, which is asking you to know your worth. And also the full moon in Taurus, which is asking you to detoxify, which is very important. So let's see. Let's get some clarity on these cards, or get some more direction with these cards. Is there a new relationship? Nice. That is beautiful. Hi, better health. Can we get some clarity for Simon on these cards, please, Spirit? The big picture. So definitely perspective shift coming in. What else can we get for Simon? What else is the Queen of Light, illumination, enlightenment, and celebration. I think that, like this little bit of time that you're spending was, I don't know, are you single in the workings? Okay, in the workings. I had a feeling like there's something new, right? Attend to the details could be like making sure that, somehow when we're in sometimes we, where's the come on, follow the line. it's easy to get swept up, to get swept away and get swept up of in the early beginnings. And then things can get, I think there's a strong message to make sure that your needs don't get put on the back table. Like oftentimes, sometimes when we get into relationships, we get absorbed and we start to lose our identity. So I feel like there's a bit of that that's coming out here with the keeping your heart open, right? Which is, once we've been hurt, it's we're very seldom 100% vulnerable. Right? We're very seldom vulnerable in that space. And so this is reminding you to keep your heart open and be honestly like true to yourself and reveal your true self, because unless you're being truly intimate with the other person, they're only getting part of you, then it's, you know, it's only a relationship in half measures. So attending to the details is making sure that you're not being swept away in it all, that you're not losing your uniqueness or your identity or compromising yourself for this. So knowing your worth is really important, knowing the value that you bring to the table. And, you know, every one of us is worthy without having to do anything. Relationships inherently have a transactional portion to them, right? But it shouldn't be that the love is conditional, right? There's a difference between having a relationship that's even give and take in that transactional way of energy, that it's not just constant give from you and take from them. But that's, you know, that's different than having, you know, that give and take versus that balance that comes from losing yourself in the process. So the detoxifying, it could be, you know, belief systems. Like when we're talking about detoxify, anything that's toxic in your life can be any number of things. It could be detoxifying, could be less scrolling. Detoxifying could be looking at the other things in your home or your environment that are toxic for you. It could be belief systems, right? Like your mindset or your limiting beliefs can be toxic to you if they're keeping you stuck in a pattern that you want to get out of. So we've got the other three cards, like I said, the big picture. So having the big picture, right, in this situation is going to be keen. There is the call with the Eagle King to ask for angelic help. Your angels and guides will only step in and help you with direction or with clarity or with anything if you specifically ask them. You've got the illumination. So something's coming to light, the illumination, enlightenment and celebration. Like this is just a beautiful card, the Queen of Light. And then the Well Watcher, which is wisdom and the power of the divine. So there will be, you know, I do believe there's a need for you to call on the divine in this, in your life, and ask for guidance or ask for help, actually. So can we get some, not them three, can we get some, we want one, can we get some input from the fairies? Well, the Fairy of Abundance came out, so there is abundance coming in. And I see that, like, you know, when I was talking about the power of the divine, like them being a part of your life, abundance. And like you said before, right, the abundance of breathing. What was it that you said, Simon? If you live where you experience everything as abundant, right? If you see everything as being abundant, then you stay in that state of abundance and you're open to more abundance, which is a beautiful thing to be. Any other messages from the angel or from the fairies for Michael, or sorry, for Simon? Is there any other messages? Breathe through my heart. Yes. Divination. Like, honestly, there's, you know, in both cards there. So between the wisdom deck, you get the wisdom and power of the divine. This one, you're getting full on divination. So embrace your powers of divination, which are especially strong right now. You have the ability to see your current situation with crystal clarity, and there is hope on the horizon. Hope is always here, even if we can't see it. Optimistic expectations can help change a negative situation into a positive one. So there is definitely hope here. So I think that's pretty cool. You're going to get the clarity that you need to make good, solid moves in the direction that you're meant to. Your ability to discern what's appropriate for you, what you know and what you don't know, is on point. Like you're very keen, you're very aware. You definitely have gifts. If you're not aware of them yet, you will be soon, but you definitely have spiritual gifts. Are you using any that you're aware of? Like, are you claircognizant, clairvoyant, clairsentient, or do you identify as any of those? Hi, Rejoice. I don't think all of them are. And your gifts, the gifts being opened is good. Good. What gifts do you have? Share, Simon. A big part of it is working on it. The other part is trust, right? Like there is a practice. There is a practice that you have to take on, right? Many of us are we go through life and it's almost like, there's the light on, all my gifts are active, everything's perfect, and now I'm just going to intuit my way and, psychic, clairvoyant my way through life, or whatever it is, right? But for many of us, it's, you're very intuitive for sure, Simon. Absolutely. And the clairvoyance, beautiful. So when it's just practicing, and it's learning to trust yourself, and it's learning to listen to yourself, because it's within that we hear it. Right. And I have a post that I've been meaning to put up, but I wasn't sure how people would relate to it, because if you don't go within, you go without. And it's just as simple as that. In order for us to heal, we have to go in, right? We are the healer. Nobody heals us. We heal ourselves. Nobody saves us. We save ourselves, right? And it's an internal job. Right. So when we're doing the healing, when we're working on our gifts, like I've talked numerous times about, if you wanted to work on just your like how you sense information, you could get a deck of playing cards, because we know with the deck of playing cards, there's 4 suits. We know with a deck of playing cards, each suit has 13 cards. And that's why I have the Mind, Body, Spirit Healthy Collective, where we talk about a ton of things around healing the mind, body, and the spirit, and raising the vibration of the collective. And then if we want to get into doing some really, really big energy work, then you can come to the Divine Feminine Healing Collective or the Divine Masculine Healing Tribe, where we do bigger work energetically, working on those different things. But if you're wanting to build on your, like, how does your intuition come to you, or how do you learn to develop your intuition? Well, there's lots of ways to practice it, right? So some people, they put these things on TikTok. So if you keep talking about, about intuiting you, or building your intuition, or practicing your intuition, or things like that, if you keep talking about that, it's going to show up on your feed, it's going to show up on your social media, your phone's listening to you, they're doing it for ads and whatever. Just acknowledge it. So allow that to happen. And they'll do things like, what color stone do I have in my hand? Right. And if I pick up this stone, I could say, what stone do I have in my hand? And we used to do this on my lives. We do it in the morning, and I would gift the person who got the right stone or the right number or whatever it is, I would give them a reading. So what stone, you can say what stone I have, or what color is in my hand, right? What color of stone do I have in my hand? And do note that, when we're talking about the color of a crystal that I'm holding in my hand, they can be anywhere from white, black, purple, gray, blue, pink, gold, multicolored. There's rainbow crystals. There's two-tone, three, so anyway, what are you seeing? right? If you have a guess of what crystal is behind my hand, you could go with color or actually call out the crystal if you think you can discern the crystal, right? And you just go with what the first thing is that comes to your mind. That's a way to build up your intuition, right? And I did it a lot I used to do it a lot. I love it. I love it. And just nobody was guessing except, one person, but it was my little black and gray turtle that I had in my hand. But when we're doing, you could sit there with a deck of playing cards, right? Or you could sit there with a deck of tarot cards. We know with tarot cards, right? This deck has 4 suits, and then it has the major arcana, which there's 22 of them, right? So it's going to be either a fire, it's going to be wind or air, fire, air, water, or what is this one called? Earth, right? So one of those 4 elements, or it's going to be a major arcana. So when you're doing it, the whole thing is, you could even start with color. What do you think? I'm just going to shuffle the cards, and I hate a sword. How's it? Wait a second. No, it was the 9 of water. I was like, it was a water one, the 9 of waters, but nice try. I was like, was it? So I'm just going to shuffle the cards for a bit. And then we're going to, so if I'm holding this card up, you can tell me one of a bunch of things. Yeah. See, the first thing that came up, right? So when you're seeing this card, so I could ask you, what's the suit, right? So what's coming up? Is it earth, air, fire, or water? Right? What is coming to mind? You could go with what's the color on the card, if there's an overriding color. Or you could go with, well, what is the card itself, right? You could dial in and be really, really specific with what the card is. But if you went with just the color, what is the color that you're feeling when you look at this card? Right? What is the color that comes up? Or what is the element that comes up? Because then we're looking at 4 things, right? We're looking at, air might be light blue, water, dark blue, earth, green, and fire, red, right? So you could be feeling those types of things, or, air, dark blue, water, light blue, right? And that's where it gets to be. But it was the King of Air was the card, right? So that blue color, that this whole thing is all blue. So as you're playing with it, right? And I mean, you would have been correct in the sense of of calling air white, right? Because air is mostly associated with the color white, but that's a bit of a challenge, right? So you can do it this way. That's allowing you to understand, how does the information come to me? Do I have a knowing? I just know, some reason I don't get any information from it. I just know, and that's what I know. Some of us will get the feeling of blue, or the feeling of water, or maybe you'll feel like a breeze on your skin and you're like air, right? Maybe you feel really grounded into your body, right? Really grounded into your body. And when you feel that, you're like, it's the earth element. I feel very grounded. Maybe you feel very light and, flowy and whatever, right? And maybe that, so how you discern the information, maybe you hear it, maybe you taste it, maybe you smell it, maybe you have a vision, right? Maybe you can see the card like this, but, different in your mind, right? Which is beautiful. I love it. I love it. Okay, so who's next for cards? We did a little talk about, developing your intuitive gifts, right? And that's how you practice that, right? Is you find a way where you can, that's funny. I stuck this card on top of these and I put them together. And I was like, this deck feels really big. And inside I had hidden the fairy cards. right? So when you do it as a practice, though, when you're doing it as a practice, you're doing it with the intention of seeing what is the subtle information that I pick up and how do I pick that up, right? I have a deck of playing cards right here, in fact. So, right? So what is this? Oh, sorry, the cards were backwards. What card do I have? Right? We know there's only 13 cards and 4 suits. So you can tell me 50-50 red or black, right? So 50-50 red or black. Denise is going with diamond red. She's going with the suit. She's saying, I'm not even going with just red. Metal Chick saying red. We got a couple that are saying heart, that it's a red heart. So people are picking that it's red. Now we've got someone saying it was a jack, someone saying that it's a 4, someone saying that it's a 3. Anyone else want to guess what the actual card is? Because maybe you could see that it was a certain card, but you couldn't pick up the color. Maybe you pick up the color, but you couldn't pick up that it was a certain card. Right? Please, if you want, you're looking, guess what card it is what we're doing right now. We're just seeing how your intuition shows you, right? And we also, when we get into groups of people, we really get caught into, I'm going to go with what the collective says. So we won't want to say something different. So you may feel like you thought you wanted to say it was black, but you don't because everybody else has been saying red. So you stick with red. Sometimes that wins, but sometimes that fails. In this sense, Denise was the closest because she picked diamond right out the bat. And Simon was the closest with a jack to the king, or the ace to the king, I guess, in a way. Ace of diamonds was what Denise guessed, and it was king of diamonds. So pretty darn close, if you ask me. So you can continue doing that, right? You can pick another card. So what card is this? Right? Don't be afraid to say. Don't be afraid to say. What are you getting for this one? You can do 50-50, red or black. You can do 1 in 25, like a 1/4%, or like the quarter, which is do the actual suit. You could do 1 in 13, which is guess the actual, like guess the card. And then you could do 1 in 52 and guess like the card, the suit, all of it. Okay. So we'll let everybody else put down some guesses of this particular card. It is fun. I'm just going to give everybody a second to guess, and then we're going to reveal the card. I'm not recruiting for anybody. The card, the 6 of spades. Sorry, Queen of Spades. I don't know why I read 6, but the Queen of Spades because sword 6. The Queen of Spades. So Rejoice, who said black queen, bang. Denise, queen, bang. Metal Chick, you said spade. So, you still get the spade portion of it, right? So how did that information come to you? How did you feel that information, or how did you hear it or see it or sense it? That's your cue as to how. I'm not recruiting. No, I'm just getting people to touch into their intuition. I'm not recruiting for anybody. Right. And just because I'm doing something like that doesn't mean that I would be recruiting for anybody. Right. So if we shuffle up the cards, and we'll pull one more card, and we'll do a little guess-a-poo on that so that you can see how you get the information. So for Metal Chick, she got guides. Her guides said so, right? Her guides were telling her. Yeah, but recruiting means that, right? Like recruiting. Right? Recruiting means that I'm gathering people for something, right? And I'm not. Like, the only thing I'm doing is my mind, body, spirit, healthy collective, which I laugh now and I say we should have called it the collection of unified light transformers, because I just should have. No, I'm just letting people get in touch with their own intuition, so they know how to discern their information. Right? I'm empowering people. Yeah, I'm just empowering people. So that they know what their intuition is. So the tarot, and like, what do the playing cards have to do with tarot? Well, you can make a tarot deck out of playing cards if you want to, because you have your 4 suits. You just have to determine what the suits are. And you'd have to get 2 decks of card, because you'd have to make your major arcana, right? The major arcana, the minor arcana is the 52. Hi, definitely, Jenny. I think we can do that. So we're gonna do one more card. I'm just shuffling up the deck, but because it's so small, I keep shuffling them everywhere. Everywhere. Yep. The deck of a deck of cards has more symbolism to it than you can even imagine. There's 13 cards. There's 13 moons. There's 13 months. At least there used to be. There's 52 weeks. There's 52 cards. There's a lot with playing cards that. Alrighty. We can't do that card. All right. Pick the card. This is just to check in and see how you intuit your information. How do you pick up knowledge from outside? Some of us, our guides speak to us and we hear it in our minds, right? They hear us in our minds. Some of us, we feel it. Some of us, we know it. Some of us sense it. Like, there's just, how does it come to you is how it comes to you. And this is a way for you to play with that and develop it and get better with it and get, do more of it. Right. So who told you that, or how did you find that out, Leslie? How did you find that out? You ready? Ten of Spades. Mariana was close. So Sherry, you mean Serafina, asked the reader if she liked the cards. And they used my friend's name. And I asked and I was told, yes, she sent them. So you have to think how you got the 10, right? How the 10 came to you. What was your clue, right? What was your clue that said, yeah, you were doing, I was like, wow, Denise is bang on this time. She's doing amazing. But then you decided that last one, screw it. I just find it weird that, like, so why would Sherry agree to that? Or why would Sherry say that? Right. All righty, I'm going to pull some Ginny. I'm going to pull Ginny some cards. Okay. What does Ginny need to hear today, Spirit? Can we get a good message for Ginny? Hosier. All right, so we got the 10 of Fire in the Shadow Seer position. So you're feeling really, I feel like there's this to me is like a very overwhelmed energy. Hi, Edie, welcome back. Right. So it's just that like, so what are you responsible for is the question that's coming in, right? What are you truly responsible for? Yeah, I feel like this would be a better conversation sent to me. Like, if you want to send me that through Facebook Messenger, so you can just explain to me like what you're like, because it's in little bits, like, and explain to me like, what do you mean by that? Because the reader had to be in on that. Like, there's no, I don't know. Anyway, then I can talk to you about it. But all right, back to this. All right, what does Hosier need to hear, Spirit? Can we get a good message for Jenny? All right, so we've got the 7 of Fire. It's very important for you to be erecting boundaries at this point in time, and those boundaries could be physical as well as energetically. We have the Ace of Water. Right now is the time for you to be pouring love into yourself. The Ace of Water is in shadow, so it's like you're pouring outwardly into everybody else's and maybe filling up everybody else's cups, but you're pouring from your own cup. Yeah, I do believe that there's an element of that, right? Like, when it's cute, this little Ace of Water, it's the, the little seahorse holding on to the pearl, but here, right, he's upside down. Like, there's a bit of letting go. Like, there's some stuff that's definitely not in alignment with you. Okay, there's definitely something that's not in alignment with you. And like I said, there's that like, you can't pour from an empty cup. And if you keep pouring from yourself, it's just going to get more and more empty. We've got the 7 of Earth. Like, you've been putting in a lot of work. Like, you've been working hard at these things, like, and you're not seeing like the return on investment is not what it should be. Right. All righty. Can I get some more information for Hosier? Can we get some more clarity? All right, we've got Gaia's garden, fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow. That's a very powerful message, right? So knowing that things are going to come to fruition, whatever it is that you're manifesting will come to fruition, and you will be abundant. That's, God wants that, or source, the universe wants that for everybody, that abundance and that alignment and that beautiful life. But the reaping what you sow part is the part that's standing out, and it's being aware that, the energy that you're putting out in the world comes back to you. And I talk about that similarly to if you were sitting in a pool of water, right? If I'm sitting in a pool of water, just the mere moving around that I'm doing, I'm creating ripples out in the water. Well, if we're looking at this example, me sitting here in a negative state of mind means that the ripples that are going out into that water are negative charged ripples. They come back eventually, but they don't come back the same as what they left. So if I'm sitting in a space though, and I'm just negative, and just to give you a little bit of extra help in the negative space, your subconscious knows nothing but self. Everything you say, everything that comes out of your mouth, the words that you think, regardless of whether it's about you or someone else, your subconscious interprets it as self. So you might think, I don't talk mean about myself, and think that you're okay, but you talk badly about other people, your subconscious still interprets that as self. So this is just, like, make sure that you're aware that, and there could be some element of like karma, right? Reaping what you sow, that whole cause and effect thing coming in. All right. So we've got the we've got the wise woman of Wonderland, and she's asking you to have integrity. Right, to have integrity, and that there may be a need to compromise. Just make sure that you're not compromising your morals or your values in doing so. And then we've got the altar priest. She is talking about preparation, prayer, and a sacred ritual. So prayers are not meant to be, please Lord, save me from this. Dear God, if you give me this, then I will never eat meat again. Dear God, da 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 da. Please save me. Please help. Like, that's not prayer. Prayer is, God, thank you for all the things that you've already given me. Thank you for the abundance in my life. Thank you for the clarity and the peace of mind. Thank you for, right? We're thanking for the things that we're receiving. And that's the message for like with prayer, right? So there could be some form of like doing a sacred ritual. The fairies came out right away, said go outside. So there isn't a bit of you that needs to reconnect with Mother Nature, ground in the outside world, right? You can energetically, you can discharge a lot of negative energy when you're outside. With anger, you can stomp it into the earth, allowing Mother Earth to transmute that energy. You can connect with the life that's out there. Like, everything is so ensouled with this beautiful energy. So go connect with that. It's time to go outside, tune into the powerful peace of nature wherever you are, and feel at one with your habitat. So definitely reconnect with outside, Jenny. Okay, what else can we get? Some more fairy messages. What other fairy messages do we have for Jenny at this time? Protect your dreams. Okay, so that element of protection. Protect your dreams. You are the guardian of your precious dreams, and they are safe in your care. Keep them close to your heart until you're ready to release them. So oftentimes we'll talk about our dreams and stuff. Yay, Edie! Edie, subscribe to the collective. Yay! Sometimes people want to tear our dreams down, right? Sometimes when we're sitting there, the one card, the seven of fire, right? You got 2 7s in your thing as well. So look at the number 7. But this 7 of air, or this 7 of fire, sorry, the 7 of fire is the one that is about erecting those boundaries. And here we have the fairy saying to protect your dreams. A part of that is, right, like people who aren't willing to do what you're willing to do, or aren't willing to make the changes that you're willing to make, or like somebody that's not willing to start a business is going to give you all the reasons why you shouldn't. You know what? Most businesses fail. Like, they'll just tell you all the negative things about it to take you away from your dream. So the concept of this card is don't tell people what your dreams are until you know that they've got a good grounding and they're on their way, because people will take you away or tear you away from those. And the last card that came out from the fairy messages for you, Ginny, is manifestation. Be very honest and clear about what you wish to manifest in your life. Now write it down on paper, and that's manifestation step 1. We're manifesting all the time. We're unconscious manifestors until we become conscious to the fact that we are manifesting everything that comes out of our mouth, everything that we think, everything that we feel is contributing. And that's not to say that, if one day I had a bad day and I went into woe is me land, and woe is me, and this isn't happening or that isn't happening, right? It's not to say that my whole life is going to fall off the rails and everything that I manifest is going to go to crap because I had one bad day or one bad moment. That's not true. It's good it's good to move through the energies and the experiences and the lessons that you're having, and then allow that energy to flow. We just don't want to make a home there. We don't want to get rooted in those emotions. We don't want to sit there in that, like a lot of times we become our emotions, and like we basically become, and we just stew in it. And we're like, yes, I'm going to make sad stew. I'm going to make victim stew, right? Don't. Just allow it to flow. Let it be like a waterfall. Allow it to just flow through you and keep right on going. Okay. So that's your message, Jenny. Who else wants a reading? Because apparently we're going to do readings today. Things will be okay. Things will be okay. Of course they'll be okay. They absolutely will. Hello, Shalashni. Hi, Steffi. They absolutely will be. Trust that. Oh, cool. You're welcome. You are the manifester. What life do you want to manifest? That's where you need to focus and put your attention to, right? Is in that space of what is the life that I want to create, right? What is it that I want to do or what I want to make, right? What is the life that I want to see myself living? And how can I be that now while I'm waiting for it to take form? So I live like freely, right? I live in flow. I get up and I meet the day and I go with it as it goes. How can you allow yourself to move into that space, knowing that you are creating a beautiful future for you, and that like you want yourself to have a good life. You know that you want yourself to have a good life. Well, so does God. So does the universe. The universe wants that too. It's just that we typically get in our own way because we don't think we deserve it, or we don't think that we're capable of it, or we don't think that we can trust ourselves. We think we don't trust God, but it's just a trust in ourselves more than anything, right? All righty. Steffi, I'm going to pull Steffi a card. Very few people asking for cards today. I'm okay with that. Steffi, what does Steffi need to hear? Spirit, can we get some good messages? Alrighty, so the 10 of water in the shadow position. The 10 of water is about emotional and spiritual fulfillment, but you're not fulfilled. We've got this beautiful king of fire. The king of fire is an entrepreneur, very much could be like Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries energy. But the king of fire is, it's this passionate leadership. And it can be a spiritual leader. It can also represent, this is taking inspired action long term, so then you end up reaching your goals, right? Reaching the summit, right? What happens, Salashni? It could be. We'll see. We'll get some clarity on these cards anyway. Can I get some more cards for Steffi? All right. So with the king, and this fell down on the king, is temptation. Temptation is, sorry, I had to think because they call the cards something different. And I did this last time where I wanted to call temptation temperance, but it's not. Temptation is the devil. And so the devil, the temptation in the shadow, or the devil in the shadow position, is actually a better card, because it means in the upright position, it's about those addictions that you don't really realize are addictions until they have you ensnared in their grasp. When it's in the shadow, it's usually talking about liberation, although there is the concept that it could be deeply rooted in there. So this, to me, we're going to get more clarity on this because there's only 3, but we've got the devil on the king card. So, and the king on the 10 of waters. So this king energy, whether it's helping you get to liberation, so it could be meeting somebody like a spiritual, maybe it's like me, right? Maybe it's like me. We've got the 8 of air. The 8 of air is the 8 of swords as well. It's the air, and the air is the sword element, but it's the mental element. And this is where you are participating in your own, right? We keep ourselves locked up, and we think that we're blocked or that we can't move forward, right? This is really like that victim or scarcity mindset, looking at the lack, or, feeling too afraid to move or make a choice, being with the indecision. So the messenger of earth came out. The messenger of earth, I have to flip my mind because I have to think if the messenger is the page No, the messenger is the knight. So the messenger of earth is also the knight of earth. And this is that slow and steady. So you may be manifesting something, and maybe what you're manifesting is you're manifesting your partner, right? You're manifesting a healthy relationship with your divine masculine, and you're just not quite there yet. And it's really making you think, like, is it ever going to come? Am I ever going to meet that person? Am I ever going to move through to that space? And you've been working on it for a while. Like the messenger, the knight of earth is the slowest, steadiest, hardworking knight. This is like perseverance. Knights are usually fast forward motion, but the knight or the messenger of earth is a bit slower. So we're going to get into the wisdom cards and see if we can get some clarity on that. And I can ask, can we get some clarity on John for Steffi? Can we get some clarity on John? That's too many cards, Spirit. Can I get some clarity on John? So with John, this particular card came out, the Metal King. So I feel like he's a very strong individual, like very strong. Okay. Right. Very strong individual. And it's funny because when he came out, he brought out two other cards. One is the resting tree, which talks about patience. And then the other one is the winged wise ones, which is angelic help and miraculous aid. Came out with the Metal King. The Spiral Dancer. So is Jonathan an X? Right? Jonathan's an X. Nice. Is he okay? So then the only reason why is because like the Spiral Dancer, this is like that the shell, right, where you're circling around, but the shell doesn't. Give me 1 second. I have something that can really give an example of that. You know, guys, I can't wait until I have my office all back and set up and stuff, so then all my stuff can be. Yeah. Anyway, you're looking from a higher perspective down towards each other, right? So when you're looking at the conch, it's like a tornado going in reverse, right? Or a cone. So even though you're seeing the same thing, it's from a higher perspective. There's a different perspective. And so the circuitous route perception, like there's that spinning. I feel like there's a need for you to hear that. And then the hungry ghosts as well, obsessions, scarcity, consciousness, and attachment. So what are you what are you feeding? What does he feed in you? I have a question for you. What is it about him that you are attracted to? What is it that you find very, very, what do you find that's very attractive within him? Right? Because oftentimes what we are the most attracted to is the very thing that we feel we're lacking or we lost out on, right? Sometimes I'm so attracted to his strength, and it's because you were made to feel weak. I'm so attracted to his intellect because we were made to feel stupid growing up. So we covet what we don't have within us in the other, right? Because to me, there feels like there's definitely some, there's a strong call for you to ask your guides for help, because that came out twice, right? Like the winged one for angelic help, like these two cards together, right? So we've got the winged one and then we've got ask for help. So they're actually asking you to talk to your guides, to ask your spirit team for help, right? Yeah, you asked, honey. Okay. Yeah. So it's asking you to connect with them because your spirits will tell you. You just have to listen to them. And they're really definitely listen. You're meant to flourish though, right? You're going to be flourishing from this, but you need to be listening to yourself. You need to be listening to yourself. Okay. So those are the cards that come out for you. There is this element of flourishing that's coming for you. Make sure that you ask for help. The lotus flower fairy tells you to learn from experience and shed your inner light on any unclear areas of your life and those of others. Okay, asking for help. And then the divination. Embrace your powers of divination, which are especially strong right now. You have the ability to see your current situation with crystal clear clarity and then ask for help. I think that there's a connection there, whether it's a soulmate or karmic. I'm not delving into that and going into that much depth. You can always sign up for a full half-hour reading with me if you want, and we can, delve more into that. I feel, but there's definitely, like I said, there's definitely a karmic / soulmate connection, which isn't a bad thing, right? We want to grow and evolve, and we grow through our relationships, right? So there's that, but definitely the strong message is to ask your angels and guides for help, and that clarity will come. And because of the clarity, you're going to flourish from that experience. Okay. All righty. You're welcome. You're welcome. I love you much too. I love you so much. I even love you so much. All right. We're just after 12 here, guys. We'll go to 12:30 and then I'll be in the I'll be in the Mind, Body, Spirit Healthy Collective. If you want to extend the conversation, deepen the conversation, or you want to join a beautiful collective that is filled with not just me, but other people who are wickedly talented, powerful healers, readers, light workers, star beings, like all of that. We are building a collective. We are raising the vibration, and we are doing healing and stuff together. So you can join us there. And it is very, very reasonable. Right now it's $8.88 plus tax Canadian, so like $10 a month. November it is going up to $13 a month. That will be the first increase, and then at some point it will go to its highest amount, and the highest amount that I plan on making the subscription group is $22 a month. But we meet 5 days a week. There's an opportunity to meet on Saturdays. At some point, we will be having Soul Sundays, which we'll do a soul spotlight and other things that we'll do on Sunday. But there's lots between those meetings 5 days a week with support, and having the opportunity to drop in for a supportive meeting on Saturday as well means that for $22, you're getting an outstanding deal, even when it's at full price. But you get to experience it and enjoy it right now for $8.88 Canadian until the end of October, and then even in the beginning of November for $13. All righty, Shaleshni was looking for some cards. So let's see if we can get Shaleshni some clarity. Whatever you are going through, I want you to know right now it's going to be okay. It's absolutely going to be okay. I'm going to pull some more cards. Can we get some more cards for Shaleshni on this situation? Okay. All right. Okay, so everything's hi, sister. Mwah. This is my sister, my sissy, my little sissy, my youngest sissy. Okay. So the first card that came out was the star. The star is energy manifested, like literally wish upon a star and see it come true. So it's the first card that came out. Now, the seven of fire came out in the shadow seer position. So there is a strong need for you to implement boundaries. Oh, I would love you to be there, Simon. It would be so much fun. So the seven of fire is the need to erect boundaries. Now, the next two cards that came out was the king and queen of water, but the king in the shadow and the queen in the upright. So this king energy is like being like a drama king. Like this is really like you want to be this energy. She's intuitive. She's compassionate. She's balanced with her emotions. You know, she listens to her dreams. She validates. She's very nurturing and compassionate and understanding. So very beautiful water energy or emotional energy. But this king of water, whether this is you being the queen of water and your partner being the king of water, doesn't matter. And it could just be your between these two energies. If this is you, it makes sense that, hang on, I got to do my puzzle. This could be the reason why there's a need for the energetic boundaries around that. There's a decision that'll have to be made, and you feel like you're not quite sure which decision is the right decision to make, but you know you don't need help to figure that out. You will make the right decision no matter what choice you make, and you don't actually need you can follow your intuition. You're highly intuitive. You can follow your intuition to guide you in what is the right decision to make. And you've got the nine of earth. The nine of earth is, like this is like financial and material security, spiritual and material security, as well as like just being in a great state of peace. So that's the energy that's coming up just with the tarot cards. Can we get some more information for Shaleshni? Patience, stillness. Sometimes we have to be patient. We have to be still. Maybe there's a reason why, because things aren't ready on the back end of it. Maybe the person that's supposed to have your house just isn't quite there yet. So you have to be patient and still. And that gives you a chance to work on impatience that you experience in your life. We've got the ringmaster of scrutiny coming out as well, which is about discernment, clear vision, and details. So you have to discern what is right with you, but there's also like your vision's going to become much clearer when you allow yourself to be, in that state of emotional like anguish where you're fearing the future, or you're in the, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen, or oh my God, that didn't happen the way that it should have, and what's going to happen to me, and how bad is this going to be? Right? You're putting all the energy into that negative, into that king. And that's going to block you. That's going to block you from being able to see clearly. Then we've got the dragon's duel, inner conflict, morality, and conscious choice. So you get to be the conscious creator. You get to choose how you move through this. We can be patient or we can be impatient. We can be a victim or we can be a victor. We can focus on the negative or we can focus on the positive. You get to choose, but what you choose is going to change the way that you get to spend the time. Or how you get to experience your life. Can we get some fairies in the equation for Shaleshni, please, Spirit? Can we get some? Go outside. That connecting with the earth, allowing yourself, put your feet on the earth if you can. I know you live in Ontario. It's getting a little bit chilly to be putting bare feet on the earth, but you could probably do that. Go hug a tree, go out in nature, go for a walk, go by the water, go allow it to cleanse you, to balance you, to clarify, right? Shine from within. Looks are only skin deep. True beauty shines from within, and it is time for you to shine. This is a time for self-acceptance and for revealing your beauty. And then finally, there will be cause to celebrate. There is a reason to celebrate coming in. So get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out and dance and play. An invitation could be on the way. So you might be getting an invitation to go and do something. 333 on the time there. It is very important for you to play. It is very important for you to connect with your inner child. Your inner child contains the spark, the God spark. It comes in with us at birth, and we hide the spark away underneath these. I don't deserve it. I've been abandoned. I've been hurt. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I have to do something to earn it. I'm not allowed to be me. I'm not allowed to do the things I like. I'm not allowed to experience those things. But you're meant to do all those things that light you up, that gave you so much joy as a child, that just brought, so much pleasure to you. Those are the things that you're meant to do. So connect with that inner child and embody the play again, and allow yourself that opportunity to celebrate. Celebrate now so that you'll be in the state to celebrate, right? It's that energy. How would you feel when all of this is done? Because however you're going to feel then, start to feel that way now. Okay, but go out and play. All righty, I've got time for maybe two more. So who wants cards? I know we got Miss M down for a card, but it is open for other people. Everybody needs to go outside. I love you. Love you. I love you too. You should join our collective. I think you would really enjoy the extra support. Okay. I think that you would really enjoy the extra support. Okay. All right, Spirit. Can we get an idea of who we're... Oh, I think that you joined my webpage, but the collective, in order to join, did you? Okay, I'll look at it, and if I'll send you, if you message me on here, send me a message right now, Shaleshni. So then I have you've sent me a message through your thing, and I'll reply with the link. Okay, I'll reply with the link. So then you'll have the link. There is an app that you can download called the Spaces app. And when you download the Spaces app, it does give you easier access, like to the group and stuff like that. But you don't have to. If you go to the web page and sign in, and then you go to the group, you can, in the group, the first message in the group is the pinned thing for the group meetings. It's the Zoom meeting link is the pinned message. So it should come up for you, but I will look, Shaleshni. And like I said, if you send me a message, then I will reply to the message with the thing. Okay. All righty. So I think I only had a few people that were asking. Hi, Riley. Quack, it's Riley. How are you? You're welcome. You're welcome. All righty. So who's next? We had Miss M, I think, asked. We love you, sweetheart. We have Mariana. We had Miss Rejoice, Mira, Miss M. See you in the collective, Crystal. All righty. Mira, as a subscriber, I'm going to prioritize pulling a card for you. All right. It's the bonus of being a subscriber. All right. Now I'm going to try to focus and not throw so many cards. All right. What does Mariana need to hear today's spirit? Can I get a good message for Mariana? For Mira. My goodness. See? I meant to say Mira, and then when it said Mariana, reading the name. All right, Mira. What does Mira need to hear today's spirit? All right, the Three of Fire came out and the Seven of Water. The Three of Fire is the card that you've got the skills and talent and you're just waiting for that perfect wave, but you know when it comes in, you're going to jump on it. So it's like you're just waiting for that moment, right? The Seven of Water is about all these opportunities and options that are available to you, but because it's in the shadow, it's like you're almost paralyzed by a decision. So like paralyzed in indecision is the way that would be. We've got the Two of Fire and the Two of Air, both of them coming out together in the shadow. So there's a lot of disharmony, a lot of imbalance going on. The Two of Wands or Two of Fire is the card about making a decision and choosing between it's the time for the choosing between, because I was going to originally give Miss M, but I didn't see her, say anything. So I assumed she must ended up leaving. So there was just the three of you all, M's asking for cards at the same time. So the Two of Fire, Two of Wands is that card of the choice between the comfort zone and taking a risk, right? Like going after your dreams. The Two of Air is where we feel really blinded, or the decision that we make, we don't know what decision to make. We're just like, I don't know which way to go. And so we're like really stuck in our minds, like going, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Where do I go? Which choice do I make? What decision do I make? I could go this way and I could go that way, and it's all about the same. And the Two of Fire is like, I want to chase my dreams. I want to chase my desires. And then the other part is like, but I'm afraid, but what if it's not right? But what if I'm afraid. So skills and talents, you have it. The decision that you need to make is the part that's the problem. Hi, Shami. You've got the Ace of Earth, which means and that came down right to the three, right on the three. The Ace of Earth is the card that you have inspirational ideas. You have beautiful ideas that could be very, very lucrative if you would just take the step on them, if you would just go forward in that direction. And it would come in quickly, but it's not. It's delayed. So all this stuff is delayed because of these indecisions that you're making. There's lots of choice, like lots of different options that you could take, like lots of different decisions that you could make or directions that you could take, and you just don't know which one's the right one or which one's the right direction to go in. And that's what's put a block on the manifestations from coming in, right? And sometimes we have to make a decision before it can just, the universe can go, this is the way we're going to go. We've got the Sun Dancer coming out. This is about joyful activities, celebration of life, and abundance. So that's a potential for you. It's all there. We have the Ringmaster, which is about of scrutiny, which is discernment, clear vision, and details. So you're going to be getting clarity on this. You're going to be you're going to be receiving some clarity on this. But it's also asking you to sit with yourself and discern, like, what feels good for me? Feeling being the key word. The line that my guides are saying is important for you to hear is, we often get caught up in, I feel a certain way about somebody, rather than they make me feel a certain way. So how does the person or the situation or the experience make you feel? Not how you feel about it, but how does it make you feel? That's a big thing for the discernment. Camel Boy came out, which is about small steps and also asking for help. So right now the steps are going to be really small because it feels like it's hinging on decisions. Like there's an importance in that there's decisions that you have to make. And until you make those decisions, things can't be solidified in form. You've got the Music Fairy. So listen carefully. One of your guides speaks to you in music and is trying to give you some ideas through music. So maybe you wake up with songs, or you have songs in your head that keep coming up. or when you all of a sudden get like the lyrics in your mind, or you hear like a song starts playing in your mind, that can be an indication that there's something within that it's like that's being trying to be given to you as a message. The same thing, if you're trying to get some clarity or whatever, just ask your guides, can you show me through a song? Guides, can you provide a song for me that will give me clarity, where there's a message within the song that will provide me with clarity? And ask that, and you might find some hidden messages within the music. You've also got the fairy of balance. She's asking you to find balance between your work, rest, and playtime, and you will have more energy, harmony, and productivity in your life. Take a power nap. So, music may be something to just rekindle that, allowing and digging into music, having for playtime, like dancing and having fun, and let out your inner child. And sometimes in those moments when sometimes we're like, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? And we're staring so hard at it, we don't see anything else. And sometimes when we look away for a minute, we come back to it and we're like, oh, that's it. That's it right there. That's what I was searching for. The other fairies that came out is the fairies of protection. The fairies of protection are shielding you with magical fairy ring of love and light. Practice psychic protection before embarking on any spiritual work. So you got the concept of energetic boundaries twice now. Okay, so make sure that you're definitely erecting or protecting yourself and putting up those boundaries, right? Yeah. So that's what's coming out for you, Miranda. Okay, so find balance. Know that you are being protected, and do the same as well. And then allow music to kind of guide you. Remember to ask for help from your angels and guides, and they will readily step in. Make sure that, you're acting in the emotion or energy of as if your dreams and desires came true. How would you move through your life? Like if you are abundant with money, and if you're abundant with resources or time and stuff, how would you live your life? That's the concept from those cards. Okay. Alrighty, guys. I was going to go to the collective right now, but I did mention that I was going to pull cards for Miss M, and she stuck around. So I'm going to do real quick for Miss M, and then on my way. Okay. And then we'll be in the collective. Okay. All right, Miss M, what does Miss M need to hear today? Spirit, can I get a good message for Miss M? Got 3 cards flew out right away. The 2 of water. The 2 of water is about, can be about love and relationships, and can be sometimes called the soulmate card. It's in the shadow. So and it can also be about balance, right? So there could be some disharmony that's there. It could be disharmony in relationships. We've got the 4 of Earth. The 4 of Earth is the Pentacle card. It's the one I call the brat card. It's the one where we're spending too much time looking at the things that aren't going right. We're focused on the things that we don't want to see more of. We're not reminding ourselves how grateful or how abundant or how lucky we are in the current situation. We're starting to forget the simple things, right? So the simple things, maybe tomorrow, Mariana and Helena, maybe tomorrow. Okay. So the 4 of Earth is, like we're participating in our own struggles a bit. Like, I mean, the 5 is more of the participating in the struggles and scarcity and lack. But the 4 is where life is stable and quiet and peaceful, maybe. But that in that state of peace and quiet, we end up thinking that it's something wrong, something bad's going to happen. It's too quiet. It's too peaceful. Not enough is going wrong. Or there's not enough drama. The 4 of Earth can be just like I said, we're just not focusing on the simple things. And sometimes that can be to our detriment. We have the 5 of water, which is also the 5 of cups in the upright direction. The 5 of water is about grief, right? It's about grieving loss and heartbreak. So there could be loss or heartbreak that happened, right? And that's what you're grieving. And maybe that's what it is. There was a relationship thing. You didn't appreciate the simple things. And now you're grieving a loss. The Four of Fire just came out there as well. The Four of Fire is the Four of Wands, and that means that there will be cause to celebrate. The cause to celebrate could also be like a wedding ceremony. It's the 1111 card is what the Four of Fire or the Four of Wands is. You also got the Queen of Water. So the Queen of Water, but in the shadow position. The Queen of Water in the shadow seer position can indicate that you're not listening to yourself. You're not listening to your intuition. You're not following your emotions, or you're not listening to your emotions. You're not even validating them. So you might have been, went through this heartache or this whatever, but you're not validating that experience of grief. The Cosmos it came out. The Cosmos is about creativity, tapping into the collective. That inspiration that we get is from the Cosmos. The Metal King is coming out as well. He's asking you to be disciplined, to protect yourself, and to be aware of the boundaries that you should have in place. Can I get anything else for Miss M? All right. So we've got the Queen of Light. There will be illumination or enlightenment, and another cause to celebrate came out. And it brought out with it the Wise Woman of Wonderland, which is asking you to always make sure that you're following your integrity. And when you compromise, you're not compromising your morals or ethics. The Fairy of Balance is coming out, asking you to find balance. The balance that I'm seeing here is really, it's about validating your emotions, allowing them the freedom to move through. Once they've moved through, pour that love into yourself and allow the grief to just go away, or the loss, whatever you've experienced, knowing that is for the best, because at the end, you're going to have an opportunity to celebrate. The Come Together fairies came out. They're asking you to look for help. That many hands makes light work is the concept, right? If you need help with something, don't be afraid to ask, and be sure not to be afraid to ask your angels and guides for help. And the Friendship fairies coming out as well. Fairies and humans alike need friends, so now is the time to seek out those who will support and encourage you on your journey to fulfill your dreams. So there's a real element of connecting with other people and celebrating here, and getting together with that. And maybe, just validate your emotions. Validate your emotions and listen to your intuition, and it will guide you in the right direction. Okay. Make sure you pay attention to your dreams as well. That's your message, love. Okay. All righty. And that's it for today, my loves. If you did not get a card today and missed out, I'm back approximately 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday, right here on TikTok. But you can always go to my website and book a full reading or any of my other services. One of the things that I'm absolutely fascinated with is human design and gene keys. So if you want to find out a little bit more about yourself, how your energy is, or the things that you aim to transcend in this lifetime, you can find those through the human designer gene keys. But you do need to know your time, date, and place of birth in order for me to do a gene key or human design reading, because I have to be able to enter your birth information in my own personal program. So that I do need. I love you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Mwah. Beautiful day. So you can either, like I said, there's so many different things that I do. Do remember, I operate a whole entire company. I actually Mind, Body, Spirit, Healthy Self Incorporated is my company. I offer awakening and healing services and provide clarity through either tarot, spiritual, or human design and gene key readings. So go to my page, check it out, let me know. And if you have any questions, I offer a free clarity call for us to discuss what you're dealing with and what I would offer for you. So it's to get clarity on any of the stuff that I offer, or if you wanted to talk about arranging like payment plans or something in the event you want to do a healing package with me and cannot pay all at once. So all of those things are available, and do check out my books and journals available on Amazon worldwide. Just search Tanya Baldwin for those. And if you wouldn't mind, join me tomorrow if you're not going to join me in the Mind, Body, Spirit Healthy Collective. Mwah! I love you guys. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, Simon, and bye, whoever else was there. Bye. Have a beautiful day. Blessings.